We,
Okay,
we
okay.
just did a cold open. That
We
would have
which
been
you should
really,
record instead. Yeah.
yeah,
I've got to think of words. Okay, right. So India won today. Fifth test oval. That'll do, right?
yeah. I think you got there eventually. I think it was a
I
bit.
was thinking of words. I thought, what are we doing? What are we doing? No. I've had a lot of people say, or I've seen a lot of people say in reports and stuff that today's like 55 minutes of cricket was up there with some of the best they've ever seen. People were harking back to 2005 Ashes, calling it all, so many like dramatic moments. Like every ball felt like an event. Um, how much of it did you see, Jamie?
So just a little peek behind the curtain for my general life. Uh, I had a dog walk at about 9:30, and then I had another dog walk at just after 10:30, 20
Yeah,
minutes away or so. So by the time I got back, the game was over.
yeah. So, from your perspective of not
Mhm.
seeing it, how would you rate that 55 minutes of cricket?
Um, I think personally a bit shit. It's really overrated.
True.
And honestly, from an England perspective, proper shit.
There doesn't need to be any context to it, or it's just rubbish.
I mean, no.
Would you say Siraj was very good or England very bad? Or could both things be
I
true?
mean, I assume both things are true. Like, you can hardly get a fifer and be not worth it. And you can hardly lose 4 wickets for like 30 runs and
Yeah,
not also be shit.
yeah. Right. I mean, we'll kind of review this test, but I feel like we're only kind of reviewing today. Have you watched what happened today, or just gone off the vibes?
I've seen, what have I seen? I've seen the reel that you sent me of Woakes walking out
Yeah,
with one arm,
yeah.
and I've seen the final wicket,
Of Atkinson.
yeah, twice
Nice. Okay.
from
Yeah.
different
Sure.
angles. I saw Stuart Broad's little video from the comms box and
Oh, cute.
the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
televised broadcast angle.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that is the extent of the fucking Dave cricket that I've watched.
Get ready for this. This will be right of you like no other. I think that's kind of like that's our angle, isn't it? Because everyone else saw it, but you didn't, which I think makes it more interesting.
It is a cool little niche. Sure,
Yeah,
like it
let's go for
happens
that.
a lot as well.
Yeah,
So
it does. Well, I remember famously you missed that win at Trent Bridge, wasn't it? Where Bairstow went nuts and they won
yeah,
just after tea. Yeah,
hmm
that's good.
yeah.
Um,
I think ever since I actually caught the World Cup final and uh, Stokes and Leach at Headingley,
yeah.
unless it's been Aiden fucking Markram, it's been
Yes.
downhill.
Yeah. We take Markram over this, I guess. But in terms of the test overall for this test, we will do like I know for our faithful viewers or listeners, we were going to review each test, and we've done 1 out of 5.
Excuse
But
you,
we
this
will.
is this is 2 out of 5.
This will
Thank
be the
you.
second. I mean, sort of. We'll do a series review. We'll merge it. How much of this test did you see?
Also, not a lot really, to be honest. More than the fourth test, which I actually forgot was happening
Yeah,
because there was like a week or so between
yeah.
the third and the fourth.
Mm,
So I was like, oh,
it's
you'll
over.
tell me eventually, or I'll like pick
Yeah.
up on the hints. I didn't pick up on the hints
No.
until, and it was like the final session of day two before I realized the fourth test
Sure.
was on, and like
I mean, the
I,
fourth
I
test,
don't have that much investment
oh,
after
yeah,
that.
fourth test, I have no investment anyway. It was just like the most boring pitch you've ever. This can be our fourth test review. Just boring flat road of who cares, you know? It was just most attritional cricket you've seen. Like, and that's like there was also the draw at Manchester against Australia as well, and it just
Mm,
feels like, and there's not been a result at Manchester for Lancashire all season, and it's just like who's this cricket for? And
yeah.
then you fast forward to the Oval, and the pitch is just doing so much more, and then suddenly the cricket is shockingly more interesting. Um, so I mean, this game had a lot of oh yeah, so that's our Manchester review done. Who
I mean,
cares?
the only thing about the Manchester test is the
Yeah,
all the fucking spice that was going on, but I guess that's
I
bled
don't remember
over
any of that.
into. I don't worry, I've got a transcript.
Oh, good. Do you want to quickly do that now for your Manchester review?
Sure. So, oh, well, was it day 4 or day 5? It was the final day, wasn't it?
For the
Because,
handshakes, I'm guessing, which
yeah,
is
for
where
the
this is going.
handshake
Yeah, day
fiasco.
five. Yeah,
So, day 5, it was Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja into bat
yeah.
for India.
Hmm.
There was like 15 minutes or 15 overs, something insignificant
So
amount
it
of
got,
time
yeah.
left.
So it got to the when it gets to the last hour with the 50 overs, the umpires will say final hour, and then if it's at that final, that's after that point, the captains can choose to call it a day or offer the draw. So they can't. Stokes couldn't say before that, oh, we'll draw it. So I'm pretty sure once that final hour is called, when there's if there's no result possible, the captain, the fielding captain, can say, you want to call it a day?
Yeah, I
That's the
think the
context.
issue with how that was handled was Stokes didn't ask. He very much just walked up to
Marched.
Jadeja, hand out, was like,
Yeah,
right, let's just move on to the next test.
yeah,
And there's a whole Sky Sports have a good short video on it, like a minute
yeah,
and a half,
yeah.
if anyone wants to watch it. But
Uh-huh.
the transcript, if you want it,
Sure. I mean, yeah, go on.
verbatim. So I think it's a little bit out of chronological
Sync.
order because the
Okay, sure.
first one is Jofra Archer saying, if you wanted 100, you should have batted like it earlier,
After they've gone
which
through
is
this tough stuff.
just the first little
Yeah,
like bit of the avalanche falling in
sure.
my personal perspective of this England team is just plummeting in the minute. It feels very toxic. It feels like
Mm.
they're trying to build up this persona of being dickheads.
Feels like they're building up towards like the Australian team of like the early noughties, late
Mm.
90s. You know what I mean? The
Like,
aggro.
and like maybe they're trying to do that for the Ashes, which
Maybe, maybe.
is the only test series that matters apparently, but whatever.
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah. And then Crawley goes up to Jadeja and says, is it your decision? Jadeja, no, no, no. Crawley, we'll bowl bouncers at you if you want. Jadeja, you've been doing that all day. And I just want to take a moment just to like highlight Jadeja in this before
Uh,
I shit on Zach Crawley. Like he just took this so well, like just flipping what
yeah.
England are saying, just like, come on,
Well,
like,
Jadeja, yeah. I feel like Jadeja was quite a chill guy, to be fair.
yeah. And if you're getting that off of someone like Zach Crawley, who has done fuck all during his international career, yeah, like he got one really big
Yeah,
double hundred against whoever the fuck, and like
Pakistan.
he's Rob Key's best friend. But if you're as inconsistent a player as you are, you
Mm.
cannot be saying, we are going to try and bowl bouncers at you to try and fucking hurt you. Because
I've not,
that's,
yeah.
I think that's the subtext or the context behind that statement. He's like, why else would you be
I
bowling
guess
bouncers at them? Like,
just so
it,
they can't score off it, basically. That's normally the like dead tactic when it's like at a tail enders, you just bowl bouncers so they can't hit it properly. You know, it's
sure,
just
but like the
yeah,
ball is also coming up towards shoulder, neck, head height.
yeah.
So it's
And also
a
like
bit,
no,
it's
yeah,
a more of a dangerous bowling tactic.
yeah,
And you're
and
saying we're doing that more dangerous bowling
and
tactic
also
because
no
we
one was
think
bowling
you're,
bouncers on that pitch because it wasn't bouncing at all.
yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
And then there's a big old dialogue, duologue, dialogue, whatever.
yeah.
It's a long day. Duck it. How long do you need? An hour? Jadeja. See, I can't say I don't want to play. Duck it. But then it works that you get 100, he gets a 90, then we have to wait for him. Jadeja says something I can't
Mm,
make out. Duck it a
intelligible.
bit late in the day for it. We haven't got 2 hours for him to get 100. Then Stokes comes in from after like giving the
Mm,
offering his hand. I say offering his hand, just
yeah,
presenting his
giving
hand,
his hand.
assuming others will take his hand.
Yeah,
You're going to get a test 100 against Harry Brook and Ben Duckett. Jadeja, we're going to come back to that as well.
yeah,
Jadeja, okay. Stokes, something, 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 walk off. Uh,
yeah.
there's something else said by Duckett and Stokes, but it's not
Uh-huh.
really up there. And then Crawley comes back in again because he's
Yeah,
the one that, like,
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
the spearhead of this bullshitting chirps that he
yeah.
has no right to do. Crawley, if you shake our hands, then it's done. Jadeja. I can't do anything. Crawley, you can. You can shake our hands.
I mean,
It's just a
I
bit of a mess.
it is a mess. I mean, I'm don't. My point of view is that I don't. I think it looks crap anyway. I don't really care. But like the context of like if I don't I can't I'm not really justifying any of it. You could say that they've been like Stokes in particular has been on the field for like 250 overs at that point because he batted and got 114 and he's been fielding and he's basically ripped his shoulder. Who knows? So I can understand. I think the best way of doing it would have been Stokes to be like, "You want to call it there?" And then Jade's saying no. He's like, "Okay," and then he just brings on Brook and duck it anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think he has to like make a vocal thing of being like, "Oh, you're going to get it against Duckett. Here you go." I think he can struggle with it. All right, fine, and then bring Harry Brook, and then that's done, isn't it?
yeah.
Like
Like
I
it
understand
just
because yeah, his
it
point of view is like I'm not going to waste my bowlers anymore on this pitch, which is just doing nothing just for them. So on comes Harry Brook, which I understand.
yeah, but like if we look at say the Whippets, which you've tried to build
Yeah,
like a very wholesome
yeah,
environment around,
yeah, yeah,
like you would never say, "Oh, I'm going to bowl Jamie and Connor at you," if you basically if you don't agree to a draw,
yeah. I wouldn't tell them
because
that. Like, yeah,
that is like sort of second-handedly saying they're a bit shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and Stokes saying that he's not meant that,
No, but he's just saying
but by
I'm not going to bowl
saying
my frontline
that,
bowlers. Yeah,
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 exactly. He's meant I'm not going to bowl my front line bowlers, but the way he said it
yeah,
has given the implication that he thinks Duckett and Brook are shit bowlers, which they are.
yeah. Which yeah, yeah.
But you can't fucking say that as captain
No,
because
yeah.
it
I mean,
just
yeah.
harbors a environment of
Bad vibes.
toxicity and bad vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean that last day, I mean I was following it a little bit on like radio and stuff. It was one of the most boring nutritional days of cricket I've ever followed in my life. So I mean I can understand if you're then in the field having to do all of that, whether you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm fed up of this.
mm,
You've just been watching the same batters, not be like, oh, I can understand Jofra a bit, be like, get it earlier then and carry on. But like on the flip side, like I don't normally always agree with Michael Vaughan, but I would have maybe have gone the Jadeja route of get the hundreds and keep batting. They're in their rights to.
yeah, and
Like
like
just
I
like
wouldn't.
put more miles in the legs, like just that would aggravate me even more. Like I wouldn't be anti them doing that. So yeah, it's a lot of silliness, I think, with that.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like there was that little bit, I think, in the third test where England came out late to bat, and
Well,
then
yeah, they came
Crawley
out late,
got
and then Crawley was like wasting time as any batter would, and then Gill was giving him a lot of chirps from slips, saying grow
yeah,
some balls or whatever. Yeah,
like those. That seemed a bit innocuous, and who
yeah,
cares? It's a bit against the spirit and
yeah,
like gamesmanship, but whatever. India will get over
hmm
it. This
yeah,
sort of came out of nowhere and escalated quickly for
yeah,
no reason. It was just it should have been. Do you want to call it a day? No. All right, then let's keep going. And
yeah,
that's sort of bled over into this final test
yeah.
as well a
I mean,
little bit.
it's bubbled across the whole series. I think it's there's been that kind of undercurrent. I think. And I think this is what happens with a five test series as well, which is I think sometimes quite cool because you get these narratives that come up and whether they like look good or not. I feel like because it's so heavily contested against two very similar sides, I would say it bubbles like you say, it bubbles over, and I think it makes for more interesting cricket. And then because there was an interaction, I don't really know what happened between Krishna and Root on day two,
Yeah. And
where that obviously bubbled over.
that came after was it Akash Deep putting his arm around
Yeah,
Duckett
duck
after he
it. Yeah,
dismissed him.
which he shouldn't really ever do when a batter's going out, whether it's in good jest or not. Like, just let them leave. Um, but yeah, the root stuff, I
Mm.
don't. I mean, it's all water on the bridge now. I think they were all smiling and stuff yesterday, but that obviously bubbled way over the line, didn't it? Somewhere. So yeah, it's always quite heavily and spicily contested between
Yeah.
England and India.
It's I just wouldn't have expected this amount of spice,
No, yeah,
considering
yeah,
India are a relatively younger team. New
yeah.
Chip Shuman Gill's first series as captain, so I wouldn't have
Mhm.
expected as much of a
Yeah,
bite to it, but
yeah. Yeah, I think I think there's so much context and stuff because again, we didn't review any of the tests. I feel like the Lord's test was, I feel like the chirping and stuff. from an England perspective, it was very much a tactic after they went for Crawley. And then when they came out to the field, they really gave it to them, quite a lot and stuff. Like they really were very stuck in. And I did think that potentially got to India slightly because there was a few collapses from there. I think they got caught up in the emotion of it all, I
Mhm.
think. And I felt like England just felt like, oh, we just have to do this every test now. And it's like, no, you
Mm.
don't.
Just
Like you
just
make a
chill.
point. Yeah, like yeah, it's so I can understand it sometimes as a tactical perspective, but also India are a very good team and they're going to come good eventually. Um, so yeah, that's the Lord's test. No, okay, but where are we? So we're talking about the fifth test, which England just
Mhm.
lost. Um, and I think England can't really complain about losing it because, they,
Yeah.
what was it, on day 4 of 3? Oh, 3 and 4, they dropped, I think it was 6 catches, which 100% affected the game. Like
Mhm.
they dropped Draswell when he was on about 20 or 30, and he went on to get 100 and whatever. I think there were like 60 odd extras in the first innings, and you love extras.
Yep. My favorite
Um,
player.
yeah. They had little mini batting collapses. Like in the first innings, they were 90 for none, I think, and then only managed to get 230. They were, I think they had 7 wickets in hand before when they were chasing 370, and they were about 60 away, I think, and then obviously lost by 6 runs.
Mhm.
So, I don't think there can be any complaints. You can point to, you know, the loss of Woakes and the loss of Stokes. And I think if Stokes had been in this game, then probably that might have been a difference, but you never know. You felt that missing bowler and that missing middle order batter. But, there's players in there who should have been able to get, in these tiny margins, you should be able to get 6 more runs between Bethel and Smith at least, you know?
Yeah. And like Stokes not being a part of this test is part of like him bowling himself a bit too much
Yeah.
in the previous test, so that's partly on England. And then
Yeah.
it didn't really seem like there was a much of a plan with the bowling attack. It
Yeah.
it was just like whoever's fit, we've got to rest Jofra
Yeah.
and we'll just have to get in whoever we can. And it felt like going with the
Yeah.
four seamers, especially, we definitely missed us having a spinner in there,
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
especially after Woakes went off
Yeah.
because it was just so much workload on the other three
Yeah.
seamers. But then, if you did have a spinner, I assume that that player would have been in for one of the seamers that did play instead of
Did pretty well.
Woakes.
Yeah.
So,
It's it's tricky. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jofra shouldn't have. I mean, it's easy on hindsight, but Jofra shouldn't really have played at Manchester, I don't think, considering that pitch off for nothing. If you think of how well Jofra probably would have done on this pitch, where you've got a pitch that's doing something, I think that might make a difference as well. But I mean, they brought back Gus Atkinson, who got a fifer back on debut. Not on debut, on return. Josh Tongue got a fifer as well. I mean, Jamie Overton kind of really did nothing, and he's not really played any county cricket this summer, so that felt like a very odd pick. But I mean, they kind of did the best they could when they lost Woakes and with
mhm,
no spinner, to be honest. And I was quite, other than that first random spell from Josh Tongue on that first day, I thought Tongue actually bowled really well throughout the game. He bowled a few like Jaffers, and I think especially whatever day it was, yesterday or the day before, when they didn't have Woakes and he had to step up, I think he actually did step up pretty well, and he is England's leading wicket taker of the series. I'll get the stats for you because I've got them ready. He finished with 19 wickets. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. 19 wickets, an average of 29. And then Stokes behind him with 17 wickets. Siraj finished overall with 23. So for only playing 3 games for Josh Tongue, that's pretty good going, isn't it?
yeah, that's pretty decent. And I think
Yeah.
it represents a good sort of starting point for where we should go with the bowlers
Yeah.
as well. Like these quick seam bowlers, we can rotate, put one on, one off.
Yeah.
So we're having their workload exhaust them and injure them like
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It'll help. I mean, everything's about the Ashes, of course it is. But when you've got a battery of fast bowlers like Tongue, Wood will be fit. Hopefully, we'll see. Archer and Cast, and you can, rotate between those
Mhm.
amongst Atkinson, and then the spinner that you pick. And I guess Jamie Overton's going to go, I suppose. And then Stokes is your fourth seamer. I think that's good to be if they're all fit in an ideal universe, I think that's good. And if England had an extra bowlerless test, maybe they would have won. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm really impressed with Tongue. I know he got a bit of tap and stuff and a few wides,
Mhm.
but I think for a young bowler, stepping up like that was
It-
real good to see. And we're a fan of Josh Tongue, so we're happy to see that.
yeah.
Um, Other context of the day today, I mean, this test, which we've not really covered, I guess. It was so today's test. It was a mad 55 minutes. Considering you didn't watch it, it was
Mhm.
just every ball did feel like, as Bumble would normally say, every ball felt like an event. So the first ball of the day, Overton smashes to the square leg boundary for four, and then second ball inside edged it past the stumps for another four, and there's 8 runs off that first over. And suddenly you're thinking, oh, it's going to be done in 4 overs. But then you have Siraj come on. He's bowled. I think he bowled about 28, 30 overs in his second innings. He's just like he's played all 5 tests, and I think I saw a stat that his speed has never dropped below, I think, 80 miles an hour. So that's just madness.
Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, across the series, he bowled 185 overs, which is the most of any bowler. Stokes, I think, was Stokes bowled 140. Woakes actually bowled 181, so Woakes wasn't too far off. But 185 overs, which is a bit mad. Um, so yeah, and then Siraj came on and the ball was just hooping and doing loads. But still, I feel like the batting was I think for this morning, Jamie Smith particularly only faced 4 balls, but it was
Mhm.
just so uncomposed, I think.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Overton in comparison looked like the more senior batter,
Mhm.
and it felt like Jamie Smith looked nowhere near it. I don't think he hit bat on ball once today,
Mhm.
and yesterday evening didn't look good. And then the ball he got out to, he sort of like walked down and sort of like wafted at it outside off stump, and it just felt really kind of disappointing for like
Yeah.
a player that showed so much promise at the beginning of this series and just kind of like tailed away. I think it's quite a bit of a concern. Because I feel like you're chasing it's 35. I know the ball's
Mhm.
swinging, but you've brought up being playing cricket in England. It's your home ground. It's the Oval. I just expected quite a lot more this morning from Jamie Smith, and I think it was quite a weak way to go. I know Bethel didn't do great yesterday, but he's only 20 or whatever. He's played zero cricket, and then he's been asked to face very good bowlers in a very tense environment. But I
Mhm.
think for Jamie Smith's perspective, I don't like to call out people, and I think he's a very, very good player, but I think it was quite poor. Um, but he's a Jamie, so we like him. Um,
But
then
I think
go
also he's been put in that position a bit as well by the top order, and it might be harsh to call
on.
out two
Mm,
players that got hundreds and even got England
sure.
into this position.
Yeah.
But the way that Brooke and Root got out was just completely shocking for two players that were
Yeah.
past 100. Like I think you were saying earlier, pre-pod, that maybe Bethel's lack of scoring and
Yeah. I think
unable
so.
to rotate the strike got to
Yeah.
Root a bit, and the pressure got at him, so he felt
Yeah.
like he had to go at one that he really didn't have to.
No. Yeah.
But
Definitely
like,
not.
I think Brooks' dismissal was a bit more classic Bazball,
Yeah.
whereas
It felt very Brooke.
there's
Yeah.
only one setting, and it's
Yeah.
go for the boundary, no matter
Yeah.
what. There's no
It's yeah.
and like because they were below 100 runs at that point. They
It was
that
about 70 to win, wasn't it? It was
yeah.
70, 75 to win.
So you
It
don't
was in the
need to
bag.
start. Yeah, you don't need to start
Yeah.
chasing it. Just
Yeah.
chill out. Don't play the big shots
Yeah.
unless it's the right shot to play. Just
Yeah.
keep
It's
rotating the straight, make India work for it.
yeah. It's tricky. It's you don't want to ever like fall into the like caveat of it's just the way they play because another day he might have got proper bat to ball to that and he goes for another six and I think just before lunch when England were 3 down for only about 100 and I think they got about 30 40 runs in the last 15 minutes of him just
Mhm.
like whacking it and he was caught on the boundary with Suraj then steps on the rope and
Yeah.
stuff and you could say that was reckless but it came off and then he's battered in the way to get us into that position so it's difficult to be like I completely agree. But then it's also like, oh, they got into that position, but then there's these other players that didn't do anything. That's I guess it's for me, it's the tricky thing. Like, Pope and Crawley did nothing really. Um, but I agree. I think in that situation for Brook, I think he'd already got runs to that over off anyway. So I
Mhm.
feel like you just need to get it down to 50. And especially because you know the weather's going to be changing and the weather's going to
Yeah.
be weather around today and the rest of the day. I don't know whether it's like we need to get it done before that or we need to get it done before the new ball. But there was just runs to be had everywhere.
Mhm.
It was just quite a frustrating thing that kind of like there was no kind of game awareness to be like, let's just win the game,
Yeah.
rather than let's just do it quickly. And I was surprised with Root as well. Like I think I said earlier, I think the Bethel innings where he gets 5 off 30 was a factor, and I think it maybe had got. I think it's credit to India as well for the way they're
Mhm.
bowling, but there was increase of pressure. There was suddenly no runs, there was no boundaries, and there was no release point. So I kind of understand.
But then, should there even be that pressure? Because you've got another day to come. You can
Yeah,
just get through the rest of day four with Bethel, and then Root and him can just sit down and chat and
yeah,
decompress and whatever.
yeah. That was also the
And
weird
it
thing about this morning. So go on, go on.
and like it's not the first time that an England player has been on like taken a long time to get no runs before
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah,
like
sure.
the Stokes innings at Headingley, he was on like 4 from 80 balls or something
Yeah, true,
stupid before
true.
he exploded.
Yeah, no, you're
Like
right.
it's not as if these England players haven't batted with a
Yeah.
player that has done that. I'm not saying Bethel would have done that. He looked a bit out of sorts,
He looked all over the place, didn't he? But
but
yeah,
it
there was no
just
soaking up the pressure, was there? That kind of thing. It was just letting the pressure build and then not doing anything with it.
Mhm.
Because yeah, you're right. Because this morning as well, they played. I think they played at every single ball. There wasn't a like Siraj as well was just bowling this outside off stump line, kind of just inviting them to go on, keep having a go. And I don't think there was a single leave today. I think they went for absolutely everything.
the Duckett manifesto.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I feel like I know it's very easy to say, but you'd be like, "Oh, Siraj has bowled so many overs this series and so many overs in this innings. Get through that. If you want to just take it deep, take it deep. Just like make them change, make him get through. Just leave that ball. You don't go for it. Make him bowl to you." But again, I think they bowled to England's kind of mentality, so I
Mhm.
think credit has to go to Siraj and stuff. Before we talk about, I mean, yeah, Siraj bowled well, and then Overton was out with kind of a dubious LBW call, which was clipping leg stump by like I don't know that. It's just very like it didn't look out, I think, on the replay, but it's umpire's call. It is what it is. Tungy got a bowled. Atkinson hit a six off Siraj at the end, but it was about 15 to win, and then suddenly it's like, oh, how are we doing? But I guess the main talking point and I guess the memeiest like point is that the fact that Woakes, who dislocated his shoulder on day one or day two, I think it's the end of day one, came out to bat in his sling and was going to bat left-handed with one hand.
Mhm.
It was a sight. I mean, I'm. It's very difficult to watch because they took a bye where like they obviously the plan was for Axton to be like I'm making sure he's not going to face any single
Mhm.
balls. That's the plan. Even if it means we get run out, he can't face a ball. That's just ridiculous. And it got to there was a ball off Siraj that went through to Jarrell, and then he ran through a bye, and it just looked in and his hand came out the sling, and it was just the most like this is just this feels like torturous. Like what are we doing? And then they
And
ran a
yeah,
two, and then he looked like I can't run twos. It's just
and like you're
this is
telling me, like t at the end of the overs, India still had the field out, so they'd
yeah,
let was that Atkinson
take a
batting the
one.
yeah, so they'd let Atkinson take one, so they didn't have to bowl at Woakes.
I guess so. I don't know. Like it is context. So there was that the ball which they ran the bye to. Siraj was fuming because he was
Mhm.
like, "Why, Jarrell? Why have you not taken off a glove so you can throw down the stumps or anything
Mhm.
like that?" So I think maybe it was kind of clear that they wanted to keep Woakes on strike, but then at the same time, they gave Axon a very maybe. I mean, I don't know the mentality of it. I
Mhm.
feel like it would be a nice sentiment if they didn't want to bowl to Woakes, but I feel like they did. I don't know. Like. it's difficult. They kept the field back to Atkinson, which is quite an odd thing because I think if they
Mhm.
were very much hell bent on going for Woakes, they'd have brought everyone in. But at the same time, when it was 6-7 to win, Atkinson has already hit a six. Do they want to bring
Mhm.
the field in and then suddenly it hits a six and it's one to win?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult, I guess, but in a make up believe land, I'll take that they didn't want to bowl to Woakes.
Yes, it just makes the whole situation of him having or choosing to come out to bat
Yeah.
stupid. Duh.
I mean, there is
I,
there is the strong part
I,
of me. I wanted to see him face a ball because I needed to know what it looked like.
sure. Like, I understand everyone having respect for him. I
Yeah,
understand the bravery,
yeah,
and like, I do have respect for him for going out and doing that.
yeah,
But it does not, it does not compete with the how stupid I think that is. Just call it a fucking day. You've got one arm.
yeah.
This self-sacrifice isn't helping anyone.
Uh-huh.
Like Overton's having to think extra to
Yeah,
try and stop the other batsman from not batting
yeah,
at all because
yeah,
he might get hurt.
yeah.
India are potentially thinking about, oh, it will look really shit and
Nah.
be really shit for the spirit of the game and all that
Yeah, yeah,
bullshit if we bowl at someone who is clearly hurting and has one
yeah.
arm.
Yes. It
Just
was
call it,
chaotic.
just call it a fucking day. It's not
Yeah,
worth it to go out in
yeah,
such pain to potentially, and not even potentially, I think it would cause more pain, even just running
yeah.
that by.
Because you're not gonna have your proper balance, are you? Like, in fact,
Exactly.
he's having to carry a friggin' bat as well with one hand. I'd almost be like, I'm gonna drop my bat and just run without the bat, like, because you're running like with one hand up, and like, how are you gonna balance? I mean, kudos to Woakes. I mean, we do love Wokesy, and like, I think that it is the epitome of Woakes as well. That I feel like he's such just a team man,
Mhm.
and I don't think there would ever be a second in his mind where he'd be like, well, I'm not gonna do that. And I feel like it's ridiculous. So I feel
And
like,
I feel like that's fine.
yeah,
I feel like the issue is the team around him not going, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it, you dickhead. You've got one arm. And I feel
I
like
don't,
that's the
yeah,
kind of environment that someone like Stokes has built up that because he just pushes himself into the ground and gets
yeah,
injured.
yeah,
So like even if he's not telling his team to follow suit, like he's the
mhm,
leader and they're
yeah,
following him. They're
yeah,
literally following in his footsteps and
yeah.
hurting themselves
I mean,
for and
yeah,
in this situation for no gain at all.
yeah. Though I would have loved it forevermore if he had somehow gotten to strike and then suddenly had a swipe and it had gone through the slips for four and somehow he'd won with one hand, and that would have been cult moment forever. But I completely get it. I feel like there's so many other caveats to this that you can't have any injury replacements in cricket unless it's a
Mhm.
concussion, and you can't have runners anymore in international cricket. I understand the no injury replacements to an extent because I mean Stokes has said that you can have so many caveats to it. So like if someone gets a small tweak, then where does it end in terms of
Yeah.
replacements? But I
You like
do think,
you almost have to have an independent doctor from the
yeah.
ICC in that case and
Yeah. If
just
it's a major external injury and one guy, like Pant in the last game, had broke his foot and Woakes has basically lost the use of his arm in this game, that to me is a major external injury,
mhm.
and that should probably be okay to be used. I'm not talking about like a calf strain or something. I feel like I don't, it's tricky, I guess,
Yeah.
but I feel like a runner is still fair game in international cricket. I know it's silly, but Woakes or Pant could have had a run in the last two games, and it makes a bit of a
Mhm.
difference. Woakes can then just stand at the non-strikers then and not have to worry about friggin' running,
Yeah.
and I think and then that's a slightly different context. But you're basically just sending a guy out who's lost use of an arm and forcing him to run, and then potentially bat left-handed, and he's a right-hander. It's just
It's not even conventional left-handed, it's
no,
left-handed with one hand.
yeah, yeah,
So you're asking him to bat the other way that he usually bats
yeah,
with one hand.
yeah. Man alive. I feel like if yeah, if Woakes had won that game just for an edge, I'd be like, I don't need to watch the Ashes. That's
No, no,
test
no, no,
cricket
no,
done.
no. That would be absolute bullshit because I would have missed it, and I would have never heard the end of it. I'm glad that didn't happen because,
You can just see it happening though, like a kind of like tennis swipe, and it's just gone over edges, over the slips for four.
well, thank fuck
Yes,
it didn't
and
happen because
one
I would have
hand.
just been inconsolable.
It's utter Woke's nonsense. Right, to finalize this wonderful review of this test series, um, let's talk quickly about India.
Mhm.
Um, just very quickly though, 2-2, fair result.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think had England won 3-1, it would have
Hmm.
been a bit unfair. I
Mm.
think if the series ended 3-2 either way, that would have been a fair result because
Yeah.
it's basically been throughout the entire series. The first two innings are level, basically,
Yeah.
and then one team in the fourth innings has just taken it away.
Yeah. Like
And
there is a reality where this could have very easily been 4-0 India.
yeah, but like that wouldn't have been representative of the actual
No.
cricket played.
Yeah.
I think it
No, I
was
agree.
very evenly balanced
Yeah.
throughout. But like I thought India even played really well for pretty much all of it as well. Like Shubman Gill,
Yeah.
I think this was the first test that he didn't score 100 in,
Yeah,
wasn't
he
it?
got 400s in the series.
Which is mental.
Yeah.
Siraj did really well.
Yeah.
I think despite India not winning with Bumrah in the team, I thought Bumrah was still Bumrah levels.
Yeah, that's the crazy stat, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Bumrah played 3 games, they didn't win any of them.
yeah, it's weird. Like obviously Pant when he was
Yeah.
fit was doing Pant stuff.
Yeah.
Jadeja was like he was like the rock of the team,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
especially in the batting
hmm
sense, like always getting
average, yeah. He averaged 86 this series with
that's
516 runs.
stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some stats for you. So Gill got 754 runs at an average of 75.
Hmm.
Rahul, I thought had a very, very good series
Yeah.
opening the batting. 532 runs at an average of 53. Jadeja, 516, you said, averaged 86. Pant, only the 4 games, but 479 runs, an average of 68. I think that's the most runs ever by a keeper in a test series, I think, in
Hmm.
England. And then Jaiswal kind of dipped between the middle, but then started with 100 and finished with 100. So 411 runs at an average of 41. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be a very, very good player
Yeah.
in future times.
Yeah.
And then,
Jaiswal was a really good player to watch this series.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he sort of melded that white ball format with actual
Hmm.
test style batting. It
Yeah,
was very good to watch, very composed.
yeah. I think he's going to be
Yeah.
one of the next big four, whatever you call. Um, Siraj mentioned 26 no, 23 wickets. Um, Bumrah, obviously always going to be around about there. I feel like the rest there, but like Deep had a very good game at Birmingham. He got the
Hmm.
10th, but then he only got 3 wickets in the other 2 games he played. Pratish Krishna had spells where he looked good, but then
Hmm.
spells where he looked very ordinary. Washington Sundar had a good series, a few times with the ball, but then predominantly with the bat as well.
Hmm.
So I think they're coming together quite well in a team in transition after losing Kohli, Rowett, and Ashwin and
Yeah.
the like. Um, I mean, I thought after that game at Headingley, which they lost. I think I remember last pod. I thought like, oh, I can't actually see them coming back from that because it felt like such a demoralizing loss where they should have won easily. But the fact that, they've picked themselves up being a young captain and a fairly
Hmm.
inexperienced team, I think is quite a big showcase of their mental strength and then the quality of, there is in Indian cricket. So they're very good.
Yeah. And a showcase of like the strength in depth of
Yeah.
that India as a country has in terms of
Yeah.
cricket talent. It's just like
Yeah.
they can lose those three legends and then still compete at the highest level. And
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think the bowl they got the 2 spots which they've been trying to they can't work out a number 3 whether they want to go Sadesson or they want to go Karen Nair, and I think they're going to struggle they're struggling with those couple,
yeah.
but I feel like there's going to be enough talent in Indian cricket that they
Mhm.
can fill those. but you'll see how we go. But yeah, 2-2, I think it's fair. I mean, if India had won the series, I wouldn't really have much complaints. If England had stolen it, I feel like maybe India would feel a bit more hard done by than England would have been. So, don't know. I think they've done good, but I think on balance, both teams feel quite similar
Yeah,
in different ways.
mhm. The average quality score, if you were going to like give it cricket captain or FIFA
Yeah,
numbers, like the overall rating for both teams would be about the same.
I think so. Yeah. But I feel like in some instances that one might have a slightly better person in some, yeah, but
Mhm.
it's they're good. So yeah, GG's India. We don't play India again, I guess. I mean, I'm sure we'll play a white ball series because that's always the way. But I think England next tour India in 2027, I think. So a bit of a break.
Mm. Yeah, that's a bit far off.
Yeah. Because I feel read a lot of stats which we'll bring on to next on our last points. Because I think that they've predicted if Root is playing by that point, then statistically that is likely when he would overtake Tendulkar. Um, so on that, let's talk about England.
I
Um, so how would you rate England overall? Any standouts for you?
I think Root as ever with the bat, just Root in it.
Yeah,
Uh,
classic.
Stokes throughout the series was pretty decent. Had a few
Yeah,
captains knocks. Just
yeah,
bowled himself too much and into
yeah. Always
injury, but
classic.
bowled incredibly well.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah,
Um, I think Duckett wasn't like outstanding, but sort of still that spearhead in the attack at the top
yeah,
order. Um, Obviously Josh Tongue with the ball.
yeah,
I thought Jofra was pretty decent.
yeah,
I don't think he got like the number of wickets that he might have deserved. Like his figures probably don't reflect how well he played, but
yeah.
he's also coming back
Hmm.
from not having played Test cricket in like 100 years. So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't actually. I think that's more or less
I
it.
feel like,
I
yeah,
don't
I think
think
that's about
the
it.
others played shit for the most part. They were just a
Yeah,
bit
yeah. Axon was
in.
good to be back in this game, I guess, for his fiver.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's only a one game sample, though, isn't it? I suppose. But I thought you did well.
But then you like look at someone like Bashir who got injured,
Mm.
unfortunately. Like he wasn't doing bits, was he? He wasn't bowling
10
really
wickets.
badly, but he wasn't like
Here's the
he,
thing. I mean, I know we finished our Manchester chat, but I think Bashir probably would have done or made more opportunities or chances than Dawson did on that final day, just because it was two left-handers, and I feel like Bashir is the kind of bowler that people just want to whack, and then that's how he gets a lot of wickets, like a oldie at a club cricket level. Like you just kind of see like, oh, I want to smash this guy, and then that's how he got. I think most of his wickets were caught on the boundary in the series,
yeah,
which it's still wickets, and he still got them at ample times. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bashir if he does
yeah.
start in the Ashes and stuff, but we'll see. But I thought
And
he
that
did okay.
yeah, like I think the rest of them mostly did okay. And like
Yeah.
Woakes, I don't think was properly at his best.
No.
Crawley was inconsistent as ever and just
Yeah.
starting to piss me off. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think kind of the same with Pope.
Yeah, but it
Kind,
was only six. I've got the stats for you.
yeah, go
So
on.
it was only 16 runs difference between Pope and Crawley. So Pope got. Sorry, my dog is eating something. So Pope got 306 runs at an average of 34. Oh no, it's 16, sorry. And then Crawley got 290 runs at an average of 32, which kind of tells you everything you need to know, to be honest, about the two of them. That's kind of their test averages
Mhm.
generally. And that's where they're going to be averaging. It's whether you're expecting one of them to get a match winning innings in one of the tests in Australia because they're not going to be consistent over the five. And I think that's a weird thing to be banking on, but that's what they're banking on, and that's where they've, laid their cards, and that's what's going to happen. So we'll see. But the other stats and the happier stats, Root 5 games, obviously 537 runs, an average of 67. Brook, 5 games. I don't need to tell you 5 games. 481 runs, an average of 80. You know what we're talking about? Average of 83, but a strike rate of 81. Duckett, 460 runs, average of 51. And then Stokes is in around there as well, 304 runs, average of 43, which is good. Smith still finished an average of 62,
Yeah,
but I think that a lot of it's down to his 184 red inker. Um, Wickets wise, Tongue obviously 19, Stokes 17, Woakes got 11, but averaging 52. Bashir 10, Archer 9. Archer's pace was very good at
yeah.
Lords, which is very good, but then his pace was down at Manchester, but I don't know if that's a lot to do with the slower pitch. And then Cast got 9 wickets, Atkinson 8. Just a quick one on Wokesy. Do you think that's the last time we see Wokes play for England in tests?
Nah, he'll next time there's a test in England.
Do you reckon he'll be 38 next year?
I mean, I don't think that would ever stop Stokes from picking someone he likes.
No, yeah. Yeah. True. I mean, do you think he'll go to Australia if he does get his shoulder fit?
Ah, it depends in what capacity. I wouldn't mind having him there as just like a
Yeah.
dude hanging around and like making the
Just a
vibes.
bro.
Yeah, just making sure that like there's good vibes, there's good
Yeah.
like team cohesion and whatever. He shouldn't be
Yeah.
there as a bowler.
I feel like if he was to play, he could. I feel like he'd be okay in the games which is day-night game, and you can utilize him for like a
Hmm.
pink ball where it swings more. But I feel like Woke's running in at like, the MCG where it's not going to be doing a lot and you need that extra bit of zip. I feel like he's not going to be giving you that. I imagine in our, I guess what we're talking Ashes chat, I agree that Wokes should be in the squad or around about if he's fit. I think the consensus is that he's not going to be fit. I
I
think it's that
think,
bad an injury.
yeah, I think that's a blessing in disguise then.
Yeah, I think that's kind of done thing. But then I guess that means Sam Cook gets an opportunity, but they obviously didn't rate Sam Cook enough to keep him in the squad or play him here. So I guess that means Jamie Overton goes, and he didn't look really anywhere near anything. So I guess the team would be for bowling wise, Atkinson, Wood, Archer, Carse, and then maybe you play Bashir for one of them
Mhm.
because records of recent times in Australia is that a spinner hasn't really done much in recent years. So it's whether they go with 5 specialist seamers or they play Bashir because Bashir will go, and I imagine Dawson will be the backup, but I think Bashir would get the first go.
Sure. Is that spinners in general or is that
Spinners in
England?
general.
Okay.
I think, Lyon's done what he normally does, but I don't think he's been ripping sides apart as far as I know.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's generally been seamer heavy. So, and that mean I think it'd be more in line to the pitches like in the Oval Test, I'd imagine, where it's doing a bit more for the bowlers, which I think would make it a bit more spicy and not good for English batters.
So same old.
Yeah, I imagine so. Um, But yeah, we'll see who actually is fit and ends up going. But if Stokes is fit and Stokes can get through the games, then I think England have a decent enough chance. But I feel like if Stokes gets injured and you lose Stokes for a game, I just feel like England's plan B without Stokes is just never quite there because he can't really fill that all-rounder hole. So, don't know.
Yeah. There's just like a bit of drop in confidence when Pope's captain as well. He doesn't feel like
No.
he's like got his captaincy material, which might be a bit
Yeah.
harsh, but
I guess so, but you feel like is he you got to also lead by performances as well, and I feel like
yeah.
he's not like Pope series is just a classic Pope series of get 100 in the first innings and then nothing else.
Hmm.
And that's just kind of been part and parcel of Ollie Pope throughout his career. And as a captain, you've really got to lead from front. Like he really needed to stick in yesterday or stick in the first innings and make an impact in the game, and then he just hasn't. And I don't feel like he's that kind of presence on the field. Like, I feel like he's a very decent and good guy and that
Yeah.
kind of thing, but I don't. When you look at the field, you know Stokes is captain, or Gill is captain,
Hmm.
or Cummins is captain. When Pope's out there, it's kind of just it could be Brook, it could be Root, it could be
Yeah.
Duckett.
Mhm.
So yeah, positive vibes to the Ashes.
Nope.
Would you would you be thinking any? Would you maybe play Josh Tongue ahead of one of those I mentioned earlier? Would you think he gets a reckoning in those games, or just as
I,
a reserve bowler?
I'll be honest. I assume you did say Josh Tongue in.
I said, so if everyone's fit, I'd imagine it to be Atkinson, Wood, Archer, and Carse. just because Cast offers something with a bat as well. If you're not going to have
Mhm.
like a Woakes, and then Bashir plays for one of them, and then you rotate. So I guess he could.
I mean,
Right,
I would,
Tung's
yeah, you take Tongue as well, and he's
yeah,
part of the seamer rotation
yeah.
because you cannot play at that
They're not no no
bowling
no no
attack
back to
and not
back. Yeah,
expect them to get injured
break. Yeah, yeah. So
on top of
I'm
having
yeah.
Stokes as
Yeah.
well.
I'm intrigued to see how big a part Tongue plays because I feel like he or Tong or Tongue. I just like I'm intrigued because I feel like he started off the series kind of just playing because Archer and Wood weren't fit, and then I feel like he's finished the series with higher stocks.
Mhm.
But then whether or not he can replicate that in Australia is something else. So we'll see. I'm happy for him. He did well.
I mean, there's only one way for him to find out if he can do it in Australia, and that's
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for him and Rian Ahmed to tear it up.
To be fair, speaking of Ryan Ahmed, who's had a ridiculous series in County Championship, this is my last point really. I feel he should be going. As I wouldn't take Dawson. I guess that's harsh, but I just feel like Ryan Ahmed as a leg spinner and someone who can bat is going to offer more. I think
Mhm.
in a place that isn't predominantly good for spin. If you're not going to play a spinner, but you could play Ryan Ahmed, especially if Stokes goes down injured. I feel like he can offer that slightly different bit of spice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
As a leggy.
I think now that he's batting at three now in county
Yeah,
championship,
he's
isn't he?
opened and batted three. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the issue, if you want to call it an issue, is he's kind of swerved into Mo territory,
Yeah.
whereas like if England do pick him, he's going to be as a all-rounder,
Seven or eight.
and
Yeah.
he's going to come in seven or eight after having batted at three
As
and
a order. Yeah.
opening. It's like that might be too much to just drop him in at three in the
Yeah.
Ashes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it does open us some sort of dilemma in the
Yeah.
future where you can fit him in. But it does make sense if Stokes not fit, just
Yeah.
pop in Rian, and then you can go for
Yeah.
seamers, and then there's your
Yeah. Because
spitballer.
I'd argue that he would have done a better job this week than Bethel would have done,
Hmm.
as Bethel's not a frontline spinner. Whilst and he's been sitting in the bench the entire series, not playing any cricket.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, you've got Ray and Ahmed who's just scoring runs for fun and getting wickets for fun. Could have easily just slotted in if you're playing four seamers and you suddenly need a spinner who's an all-rounder. I just feel like he just fits in.
Yeah,
But I guess it is Division Two and whatever, but I just feel like he's too good a talent not to be using at this point.
get him in. Next
So,
captain after Jofra.
vice captain. Cool. So yeah, Ashes 5-0 England. Um, any other points on this series? Happy it's
Uh,
done.
yeah, kind of.
Well, 100 starts tomorrow, and we're going to be covering every single game, starting with the London Spirit and Oval Invincible. So we'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, that does remind me. The Sky Sports had this nice little advertisement of the 100 where
Yeah.
Nasser is like the big evil
Oh, the
villain of
fantasy
the
cricket
fantasy.
guy.
Yeah, it just really struck a chord with me.
Reminded you.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this must be how Matt and Ollie feel whenever they
Yeah.
play fantasy cricket with me.
Pointless. Pointless. Oh well. I mean, there's another World Cup next year. We can do it again. And maybe I'll win.
So,
Ugh. Oh well. Well, if people want to follow our 100 coverage, where can people follow us, Jamie?
uh, just not CrickPod,
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram,
Yep, that's the one.
TikTok,
Yep,
YouTube,
that's the one.
Blue Sky,
Yeah. And
podcast
that's a lot of
places.
cricket. And all the
Um,
podcast places. Yeah, we'll be
I,
back.
yeah, I always feel like I forget one, and I
Yeah.
was not prepared for that, like I have been in the couple of previous. It's
I
just
mean, just going
so
off
ready.
vibes.
Yeah, I was just so ready for the pod to end. Just
And on that, I think handshakes.
shake our hands.
Shake hands.